I've tried to cut these corners, trying to take the easy way. I kept on falling short of something. I could have gave up then, but then again I couldn't have. 'Cause I've traveled all this way for something. I take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the world. Been on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to stop. Gonna live for a while. Take you with me if I can. Make sure that this is a time. I'm on top of the world.
At this point in the service, we would normally have the offering, but my instructions say, introduce offering if necessary. Is it necessary? Yes. Oh. Okay. We would have an offering even if it wasn't in the bulletin, because we would want so badly to give back some of the blessings that God gives us. So we have that opportunity at this time.
This is the only time anybody sits in the front. And there's a reason for that. Today is the third Sunday of Easter. We hear another Easter story from Luke's account today, the 24th chapter, beginning with 13th verse, reading through the 35th verse. Now on that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and talking with each other about all these things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself came near and went with them. But their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What were you discussing with each other while you walked along?" They stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place there in these days?" He asked them, "What things?" They said, "The things about Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and leaders handed him over to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and besides all this, it is now the 3rd day since these things took place. Moreover, some women of our group astounded us. They were at the tomb early this morning, and when they did not find his body there, they came back and told us that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they did not see him." Then he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have declared. Was it not necessary that the Messiah should suffer these things and then enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them the things about himself in all the scriptures. As they came near the village to which they were going, he walked ahead as if he were going on. But they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, because it is almost evening, and the day is now nearly over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking to us on the road, while he was opening the scriptures to us?" That same hour they got up and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and their companions gathered together. They were saying, "The Lord is risen indeed, and he's appeared to Simon." Then they told what had happened on the road, and how he had been made known to them in the breaking of the bread. This is God's word for us today. So we're going to talk to the confirmation class today because they're trapped up here. As I like to say, the rest of you are encouraged to listen in because it's my every intention that there will be something for you too. U7 confirmands. This is the only day we'll ever call you that. Confirmands. U7 are a gift to First United Methodist Church. You've all taken this pretty seriously. You've asked good questions, and you've given thoughtful answers, and you've made it clear to Ruth and Meredith and me that you want to be faithful and that you want to fulfill God's purpose for your lives. Now, some of you will just spill it all with words if we ask you about that. You'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about that. And others of you keep it further down in the quiet place inside of you. But in either case, it's true. And I want you to know, I believe in you more now than I did at the beginning. Now, I believed in you at the beginning, but it was based more on hoping then. But now, these months later, I don't know how many months it seems like to you, but these months later, I've come to know your hearts and your minds and your intentions and your convictions, and I can look at you and I can see what kind of Christian disciples you are. I'm excited. Every one of you offers me joy and hope and the goodness of your unique self. And so I say to all the others, out of these 7, there is not a bad one in the whole bunch. And I'm convinced that you all would not be like this. None of this would be nearly so true if Jesus weren't risen from the dead, up and running around on the loose, still going around and talking to people and revealing himself to them. As I said on Easter Sunday, Jesus is on the loose and he's made it all the way to us. And it's clear to me that he's made his way to each and every one of you. And I also like to say that it takes a while, much longer than just one Sunday or one instant to get Easter and resurrection all worked out. And being a follower of Jesus is like that too. It takes a long time to get it worked out. And so when we asked each of you the question, are you ready to make this commitment to Christ and the church? I watched your faces. I watched every one of your 7 faces. It almost brought me to tears. I'm really lucky to get to ask you a question like that. But I never know what the answer is going to be until you tell me. And so I sort of hold my breath and I listen to your words. I listen to what you all said to me, each of you individually, but your faces made it clear to me you weren't just answering to get me off your back. I was relieved, I have to admit, when the number of yeses reached 7, I thought, are we going to get 7 of 7? Yeah, we did. We got 7 out of 7. But your faces. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was in your faces. Thoughtful look, a little pause, or no pause, the nod, the smile. I wish you could have seen your face. One of you wasn't so sure. I'm not going to say who that was. But you weren't so sure because you know this isn't just a lightweight matter. And one of you said, I think I'm ready to start, but I think it's going to take the rest of my life to do this. And I say, you know what, that's exactly right. There's some adult heads nodding. It's exactly right. And your lingering questions, when we said, what are you wondering about still? Things like, why do people treat each other so terribly? Why does God allow all these bad things to happen? What does God want from me? What's God's purpose for my life? Your questions remind me of the 2 disciples who were traveling from Jerusalem to Emmaus on that day, talking things over. Their names are Cleopas and we don't know. You've never heard of Cleopas before, and you're never going to hear about Cleopas again. And Luke never tells us the name of the other one. And I think maybe that's because the other one's you or me. We're the ones with all the questions who don't always know what to do. We're just regular people whose names most people are never going to hear about. But they keep moving and they keep talking. They move and they talk. And I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of advice today, but if I were going to give you advice, I'd say keep on moving and keep on talking. Keep on moving from wherever you are to wherever it is that God is calling you to go. And keep on talking about your questions and keep on talking about your feelings and keep on talking about your thoughts and